live. February 14th? Yeah. February 14th, 2020. Thank you guys for being here this evening. If you are watching in the live, welcome to you, a special welcome. It's always good to see you guys here watching live broadcast. Also, big shout out to those watching this on the replay as soon as it does post. Big shout out to the replay crew. Thank you guys for being here tonight in the live. If you are watching this live, then please do hit that like button. Share it to your favorite social media platforms, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if people are still doing that these days. I think they are. Regardless of how you are watching this, maybe at home, maybe on the road, maybe you are hiding at your workplace instead of doing your job, you are watching the SMT. We appreciate you risking the chance of being terminated. Thank you for being here to watch. I hope nobody gets fired trying to sneak in the SMT podcast. It is good to have you guys here. We're going to talk about some stuff today. On the agenda, we have merger renegotiations. We got to talk about this. I'll give you guys kind of like my concern meter, like on a rating system of like 1 to 10. 1 being not concerned, 5 being sort of concerned, and then like 10 being like red alert, cannot compute, not good. So I'll rate it, and then I'll have a couple of guests on today. The usual suspects, Carlos S. Tech, JG of the infamous JG Tech blog. Dude's been doing some good stuff recently. A lot of coverage. He had the CES coverage. He's got the S20 coverage for you, I think. The most recent video was pretty good. He compared it to the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I actually dig that comparison because they're kind of in the same price range, performance range. So that was a pretty cool video, and I'll guide you guys in that direction. JG will get us update on what he's doing with his channel. Carlos has some updates on what he's doing with his channel. So we'll get caught up with all those things, all the communities, the tentacles and branches of what we got going on. Also, we'll be talking about updated 2020 network projections. So I did projections right at the start of the new year. But everything that we were going to do for T-Mobile and Sprint was hinging upon the merger. And if the merger was approved or if the merger was blocked, it changed everything. Therefore, I think it's only fair that we step back, we go back to the projections and the predictions and reassess. So I'll be doing that tonight as well. And it changes what AT&T does, and it changes what Verizon does. If you don't think that's the case, I think that's a little bit naive. Because if they see Sprint and T-Mobile from a position of no power, it changes the way they approach their network upgrading, how aggressive they deploy. You get what I'm saying? So I think we do have to reassess the entire marketplace. Also, we could also talk about pricing in that way, I think, too. Those boys will be on to talk about these topics with me here in about 5 minutes. I'll be bringing them on shortly. Let me go ahead and get through some of the housekeeping in terms of letting everybody know what's going on with the channel in terms of the communities and things of that nature. So first, I want to do some special shout outs and thank yous. Let's get things started first with shout outs to James, Matt Dubb, and Alvin. Thank you for your recent PayPal donations dating back to the last live stream, as well as, recently through the PayPal donation link that's in the video description. They have been supporting the channel, and we do thank them very much for that. So big shout out to them. Also, I would like to thank, for recent donations, Michael and Dave B, supporting SMT Productions as well through PayPal donations. And I want to do a big welcome to the most recent and the newest additions to the SMT Patreon. So big shout out to James, who also provided the PayPal donations, also the newest member of the SMT Patreon. He's part of the SMT tier, Super SMT, which is the $3 tier on the Patreon. We have $1, $2, and $3 support donation tiers. So welcome to him. And also a new addition, welcome to Romi. So these two individuals, now part of the SMT Patreon, we're glad to have you, and we thank you for your support. Let's wrap up the shout outs and the things going on with the community and the channel. Big shout out to the rest of the SMT Patreon community. I would like to thank them for their continued support, unwavering support, and unconditional support. It is because of you guys, the patrons, since they're, the origins of the YouTube channel, that supported the productions, that allowed me to do things like buy new equipment. All right. So the desktop, the laptop, the microphone, the lighting, all the things that made the channel better and improved the sound and the video, all because of the SMT patrons. So I thank you guys very, very much. So Pete, Dave, Joel, Martin, Jamaal, Breon, George, Joeseph, Mark, Matt, Madbirds, Jonathan, Cesar, Roger, Ken, John, Therald, Dominick, MT Houston, Texas, Ciova, Carlos, Justin, Dan, Stacey, Phil, Joel, William, Feye, Austin, Alexis, Lou, Qais, Shane, Gregory, Hideika, Romi, and James. Thank you guys so much. Now, moving on with the last few things, I also want to shout out the SMT Wireless Report Podcast. You guys can check us out. We're on all types of different podcast app platforms. So we'll probably have a new episode here in the next couple of days. I haven't recorded one for a couple of weeks. I was going to do one last week, but I got really, really sick, super congested, could hardly breathe, let alone do a podcast. So new episode will be up and coming. We'll be covering some smartphone tech news and what's up and coming with the networks. So be on the lookout for that. Also, the second channel, all these live streams after about 2 or 3 weeks, usually within the month, they go archived over on the second channel. So if you ever need to replay or go back to these podcasts, I will be kind of archiving them there on the second channel, Sneed Mobile Tech live streams. So you guys can check those out at a later time. Consider subscribing to that channel, and then you'll get the updates. You'll get the notifications once you subscribe and hit that notification bell whenever they move over there. So you guys can check that out. And also the SMT Twitter handle. We've got at Sneed Tech if you guys want to get interactive with the SMT in that way. And also Megadon.net. We've got the invite code in the description box. Support me, support yourself. The only social media you will ever need, the social media of the future. Take your social media security seriously. No ads, no tracking, no algorithms. And of course, it is about 9:14 Eastern Standard Time, and we need to get this show started. And my boys, the goons, the SMT Sneedle goons, are waiting for me. So it's about that time. And we have, boom, Carlos is in the house.
What up?
Boom, JG is in the house.
What up, guys? How you doing?
Thanks for being here, boys.
What
Appreciate
up, bro?
you. Hey, life is good, bro. No complaints here, man. I'm feeling so much better, bro. It was rough, man. I got that.
Are you JG?
Oh, go ahead.
What's up, man? How's it going? It's been a while.
Where you been, bro?
All right. How about yourself, man?
Yeah, man. I just trying to get all this YouTube stuff and all this knowledge because this merger has been crazy, and so honestly, I'm really excited about how it's gonna be changing. The good things for Metro and for Cricket and all these other prepaid carriers. So hopefully throughout the stream,
yeah, for sure. And actually, what might actually work out for us tonight? Let's do a good hour here, 45 minutes to an hour, and then we're gonna slide over to JG's, and we're gonna do a little bit more of that extension of that discourse on his side. So
sounds good.
Yeah,
that's what we'll do. And I got coffee, bro, so I'm good to go. I get my cells going, and then we'll be good with that caffeine. All right, looks like we already have a bunch of people here, and I am really far behind in the live chat. So I'm gonna just try to fly through, acknowledge everybody that's here. We got 95 in the live. JG, I don't know if you remember, man. So like, you're kind of one of the OG mentors that I had when I first got onto the YouTube scene. So especially when I first started going live, you reached out to me. You kind of told me how things were. You schooled me to a few things. I've taken a lot of what you taught me and used it to my advantage, understanding how things kind of work and function. And there are some things that obviously I've been doing this whole way that I found to be successful, but I probably never done this publicly on any type of forum. But I do want to thank you for being so helpful to me from the very start. And I'm forever in your debt in terms of what you've done to kind of get me going and help me get some traction on this platform.
I appreciate that, brother. Those are kind words, but honestly, it's nothing because uh, if it was anybody else that I seen on the platform and they're kind of, because I seen your content, it was some good content. Anybody that I see this trying their best and their honest opinions, they're not. I don't see that there's any kind of agenda behind your videos. You're just saying how it is, what it is. You don't kind of sugarcoat it for any certain person or whatever. And I appreciated that. And anybody that I see on the platform in general that wants to do that and kind of is like straightforward, I don't mind helping them out. And like you said, it's because I've been here. I actually, people don't know this, but my first channel was at JG Plus, and I've had that since 2006, before Google even bought YouTube. So it was actually previously before all of that, and it was much different. So I've been here for a while.
OG status, bro.
OG.
Yeah.
Triple OG.
Wow, man. I will say, like, I feel like other YouTube creators, like my fellow brethren YouTube creators, I feel like I have their respect. I feel like, they say those types of things to me. They will disclose that, like what you said. That's really satisfying, and that's good to know. And I think most of my community also feels that way. But there is a small minority of people that literally think I work or I shill for certain companies. I try not to portray myself that way. I've been critical of pretty much every carrier on some level. And
yeah,
I almost feel like I've tried so hard not to be pegged that way. And some people, there's just no way you can get to them and explain that to them. Because like if I do a video that's building up T-Mobile, then all of a sudden I hate Verizon, right?
Yeah.
Or if I do a video that builds up Verizon, then everybody says I hate T-Mobile, or why do I dog Sprint, or like you just can't win.
Honestly, yeah, honestly, what I've seen on YouTube is that if you kind of like say your honest opinion on something that you don't see going well, or you kind of like hate, or not you just hate, but you see like something's going on wrong there, and then there's like this fan base behind it, they start hating on you. And it's like, okay, you want me to say my honest opinion, you don't want me to sugarcoat anything, and this is the honest truth. So I might like what this carrier is doing now, and then this carrier might be messing up with this, so I'm going to tell you the good and the bad. But it doesn't mean that just because, like you said, I'm talking about this, it automatically means I hate this other thing. And so hopefully a lot of our subscribers and viewers can understand this. And if you guys want us, I know they want us to be honest. I mean, they don't want us to just bullshit it, but it doesn't mean that we have to say what makes you feel good. We're here to just tell you as it is. And then that's basically it.
At the end of the day, guys, we pay them. They don't pay us. We pay that bill monthly.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, bro, we're opening our wallets to test this out, to put it out there for people, and that's what they need to recognize, is that I wish we had sponsorships from these companies. It'd be nice, bro. You know how much unload that would open up our wallets? Instead of us giving to them, they're giving to us.
It's nice, so true. You're 100% right. Okay, so if we were getting paid, we would never be critical of anything. You get what I'm saying? You would just be blowing up or highlighting whoever's paying you, but that's not the case. But I have to be objective. I don't know how to function any other way. Bro, I am a science teacher, right? I have been trained in the scientific process. We are groomed from a very young age to be analytical, to be skeptical, to be curious, to investigate. You don't just take things at surface level. You know what I'm saying? You have to like delve into the details, So maybe people just don't know that about me. Maybe they don't understand what my goal or intention is, but that's truly what I try to do. And at the end of the day, it may not get through to some people, but it is what I'm trying to do.
Exactly. That's actually what I was going to mention. Honestly, don't even worry about it, because the masses, and I really believe that the masses, they can see through the BS, and they could see when you're being honest and just saying it as it is, and they'll respect you for it. And don't worry about that a few that just, this and that, and they'll just hate and troll no matter what. So keep doing as it is. You'll always have haters. You always have people that'll just go off on random things. But yeah.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Awesome conversation. And just so you guys know out there, for those of you watching this in the live and listening in, these are conversations we have all the time. Conversations in DMs, conversations in text. Me and JG have spoken for hours on things like this, and our credibility matters to us, bro. Like, money's not really the goal, for a lot of people that are small channels. Like, it's nice being monetized and generating ad revenue and having videos that really hit and all that. It's awesome, but at the end of the day, if you can't do it with your credibility, it's almost like empty. Like they say, empty calories when somebody's drinking a soda, or empty calories when they're just eating sugar. It's energy, but it's like nothing else, right? There's no nutrients. So I really compare it to that. I need the nutrition. Like, I need the success to be measurable and sustainable. So I'm not in this for no quick drive-by thing. Like, this is year 3 for me. I am playing, bro. Like, I'm here to do this the right way, All right, so I know. And JG's been doing it for like a decade, bro. OG. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
All right.
Triple OG over here.
All right, so Cesar, thank you for the super chat. He says, what will happen? Sprint lease contracts with the merger, price, any new plans and new ad ones and perks. Okay, so I'll answer that shortly, and then the guys can chime in. Also, Sebi with the super chat. I can't see it. I don't know what it looks like, but apparently it was a pair, a dancing pair or something. So shout out to all the pair, and shout out to Sebi. Thank you for the super chat. Let's take this thing right here real quick, because it is a super chat. And just so you guys know, with the boys here and with all the topics we got to get to in this long drawn-out intro, it's going to be hard to get to all the comments. I'll do my best to do so. But if you put a super chat, obviously it sticks out and I can get to it a little bit quicker. All right, so in terms of Sprint leases, your lease will probably have to be fulfilled. So if you have an 18th month flex lease, you'll probably have to finish that through its entirety. The only thing I will say that I will be concerned about is if somehow, some way, your plan doesn't convert to the new T-Mobile, because there's no promises of that. For example, if you have 3 lines and they're giving you 3 free lines, I would be a little concerned about the free lines. I don't think T-Mobile is going to feel obligated to fulfill those free lines. They'll probably have to move those free lines either to a similar plan to what your other lines are, or something, that you'll agree to. They'll give you options and you'll have to make a decision if you want to keep the lines. So I worry about some of that, because you got to keep in mind, T-Mobile is not obligated to give anybody anything for free. In fact, that is horrible business operations. Doing something for free as a business makes you a nonprofit, and you are in the business of generating revenue. You have shareholders, you have stock, right? You've got things that you need to be concerned about when it comes to financials. How do you operate a network and upgrade a network with no money? So if customers want networks to improve, they need to be willing to spend, right? They're giving you a good network. You shouldn't feel bad about having to pay money, right? So it's just a bad business model, giving away free lines. It just doesn't make sense. So I would be a little concerned about that. And then in terms of new plans, like I said, they'll try to get you in similar plans. I have a feeling that it won't be too hard for them to do that. As for the addition of new plans, I think that's where the new uncarrier thing might come into play here in the next couple of months. So maybe we'll hear about a revamped plan option for wireless. JG, go ahead. What's your ideas on that?
I agree with what you said, and I think just from past experience, usually they'll probably grandfather and anybody that's already on those plans. There's going to be major changes, and we don't have that crystal ball to actually know and give you guys like the exact info what the plans are going to be. So we're just speculating, and for sure they've spent, or they're going to still spend a lot of money on building the new infrastructure and the new 5G. So they're gonna, and like Sneeze said, this is not a non-profit. They're there to make profits. So at the end of the day, they might end up raising the prices, just to kind of like bring back the money they spent on building that infrastructure. And
let's be clear though, JG, they may raise prices on certain customers.
Yeah,
on some old legacy plans, right?
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, like I said, I think their purpose is now to kind of like bring people in. They're not going to try to scare people off to go to AT&T and Verizon. So at the end of the day, I don't think the consumers should really worry about what Sprint and T-Mobile should be doing, because at the end of the day, the competition is now on, and it's going to be fierce between these three big carriers. And I think it's going to, at the end of the day, again, we don't have the crystal ball, but I would think if they're in the right mind in marketing, they're going to try to grab as many customers to kind of convert over from the different other carriers. So we'll see what happens.
Go ahead, Los.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is they're gonna end up pushing those people out of those free line promos, man. They have to. There's no way that they're gonna be giving away third, fourth, and fifth line for free, man. It doesn't work out. And a lot of these people that got like the iPhone for $35 and stuff, they'll probably just get them out of that and sign them up to a newer plan with a newer device, get them to trade that in to get them into a new device, so then they can be on the updated pricing and maybe throw in a little discount here and there, but they're not going to sit here and give all that stuff up for free, bro. No way. That's
so the flex leases are interesting because they're giving you a bundle. They're basically saying, we're going to sell you service at cost just to be able to subsidize your phone. So an iPhone 11, for example, right? A Samsung Galaxy Note 10, whatever was on the flex lease from Sprint, those devices in and of themselves, they usually land in between like $40 to $50 if it's a plus size phone, probably 30 to 40 for those regular sized phones. And it really doesn't make business sense to be just like basically giving away the phone, because they're only charging you $35 a month if you upgrade to those phones. But the thing is they take those phones back, especially when you don't fully pay them off, because a lease is a lease. It's not designed for you to buy it. They tell you that at the end of the 18-month term, you could continue to pay towards the phone. Well, if you're on an $18 lease, you've only paid like a third of the phone after 18 months. You get what I'm saying? So you still owe $400, maybe $500 on the phone.
That's not true, bro. I've done the lease before. Like this is how it works. Like
so Carlos, why are people having a hard time after the Sprint leases then?
Because after 18 months, bro, like let's say, it depends on the device you buy. Like let's say $1,000 device, okay? So you pay 18 months at $35 a month. Then there'll be like $270 remaining or $290 remaining, and then you can either split that up in 6 more payments.
Carlos, wait a minute.
Hold on. One chunk.
Let's go back, bro. They're paying $35 a month for service and the phone. So how are we looking at it? As if the service is free or the phone is free?
Basically, how they do it is the phone is free. Yeah.
So you haven't been paying anything on the phone,
or it's included in the payment. Or it's included in the payment.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's just where it totals to be 35. Basically, whatever they do, the math, however they do it, it equals 35. But I know a lot of people that have got that promo. That's how it ended up being, where they owe like $2 something or 300 even, and then they either can divide it in 6 more payments, or they have to pay it all at once to finish up the lease. If
6 more payments puts your payments at like $40.
Yeah, your last 6 payments will be the higher ones.
It's a bad business model. It's pretty much kind of, and what T-Mobile does with how they're going to be financing these new phones, they're only giving you like $750 on credit. You're coming up with the difference and having to put it up down, and then you're paying taxes on top of it. Taxes on the Ultra for the S20 is going to be like $150 in some states, like Chicago, for example. That city in Illinois, like the taxes are absurd. Most places are going to be $70 or $80 in taxes, on top of the difference, which might be $600, right? Who's coming in at $13.99? It's crazy.
Like here, I paid on this 1380 phone, I paid $110.40 in tax.
I actually didn't know that they did that. I was under the impression that with FlexPay and these others promotions they did with Sprint, is you actually pay the amount for your monthly, and then you pay a portion of it towards the phone. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, Maverick, I don't know what you're trying to prove there. There's 3 national providers. With the merger, that's the way it is. Dish is not going to be a national provider for a few years. They're going to be an MVNO primarily for up to 7 years. I don't know what you're trying to do. You know, I don't. What are you trying to? I don't. Like seriously, bro. I don't even understand, bro. Like
Maverick. Here's the thing. Even like.
Oh snap! Is that British pounds, bro? Is that British pounds?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay. I just got my first British pounds, bro. Good looking out, Daniel. Thanks, bro.
And that's actually more than $2 with the conversion. It probably is like $3 or something. I just want to finish for Maverick real quick. So, you know what? Regardless of what, and that's actually what I meant. I meant those 3 as in the national carriers. This you can state it as you like, but as in terms of competing at this moment, it's still, like you said, MVNO that's just getting that service from T-Mobile's back. The thing is, what did you really consider that Sprint was a real competitor at the moment? My opinion, I didn't think so. I've always seen it as just I seen it as 2. Now I see it as really 3 game players. So we just put some competition and pressure on AT&T and Verizon. I don't understand the other side, honestly. It may call me kind of naive about it. I just don't see why people are. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think now we actually. I'll take 3 big carriers in terms of national providers over what Pete likes to call 2.5. He said the big 2, and then T-Mobile was building out to be this half, you know, like
yes,
they're kind of capped, bro. Like you look at the spending and you know what time it is, bro. The numbers don't lie. Yeah. I will say I admire what Sprint did the last 2 years. 9 billion 2 years ago, 12 billion last year. That's really nice to see because that means they were trying. But I think, you know, like a lot of people on the outside say the image, the branding has taken such a huge hit that their network investment is also late.
Yes.
You know, because like
yes.
going back to 2011, their investment has been slow and low. And
the image, correct.
So it too little, too late. Mm-hmm. The branding is now tarnished. So this kind of lets them hit the restart button in a way. Because
this is perfect.
T-Mobile's marketing and branding is totally different. Positive energy, Magenta, Uncarrier, customer care. It's a lot of the different appearances and images that we have of T-Mobile, stark contrast from what we saw from Sprint for the last decade.
I seen a Twitter post from John Ledger. He was going off on Verizon today. I'm not sure if you've seen it, and he compared how Verizon is still kind of like working on its LTE while T-Mobile's working to better its 5G. But it just in general, like you said, the overall marketing of T-Mobile has always been just that kind of happy and giving back to its customers with Taco Tuesdays and giving them, honestly, with even Metro, it kind of goes down to Metro. They've given a lot, but and this is, we're going to talk about it once we go to my channel, is they don't actually give their customers, they just give people that are new customers, which is kind of funny, into contrast with T-Mobile. Because T-Mobile is, from what I know, they benefit the ones that are been with T-Mobile for a long time. And so we'll see how this kind of converts over to Sprint, and how things with the merge is going to happen.
So I think what we have to do in terms of like the topics we're covering tonight, I wrote down a few things that I wanted to make sure that we cover, just because I feel like they're important and people really probably need to know these things. All right. So in terms of the current merger situation, I don't know where Carlos went. I don't know if he's still here. Carlos, you there?
Yeah, I'm handling.
Okay.
I got a quick call. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's okay. I just wanted to know if we lost you or what happened. All right.
No, I'm here.
Okay. So currently we've got merger renegotiation attempts. The Germans are tough, bro. So we're talking Deutsche Telekom, right? It is 100% true. I don't care what anybody out there says, that Sprint has deteriorated even more over the last 2 years from the original T-Mobile Sprint merger agreement. The problem is American politics cannot really disrupt that deal. And what I mean by that is because the merger took so long, because states are trying to block. You've got to go through these court systems. You know, this, that, and the third. It's not Sprint's fault. It's not Masa's son. You know, it's not his fault. The owner of the I don't know what's his name in terms of his place with SoftBank, but it's not his fault. It's not Deutsche Telekom's fault. Deutsche Telekom is a German company. SoftBank is a Japanese company. They had to deal with American politics with these two companies that are American companies, and it's nobody's fault, but it happened. So Sprint's stocks plummeted like low. Like they may have been $7 or $8 when this whole merger thing was agreed upon, and they went down below $5 like 2 months ago. So like I don't even know what they ended up closing at the day before the merger was approved by the most recent judge. So I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? But it's 100% true that the company has deteriorated. Their market share has decreased. But the thing there is funny because a lot of those customers went to T-Mobile. So T-Mobile shouldn't feel bad about the market share portion. The debt load is the same, right? Sprint's debt has not changed. It's 34 billion. That's coming with them. But the stocks have fallen, and I think that's where Deutsche Telekom is assessing it like, okay, your stocks don't have much value. It's gotten worse. So to their shareholders, to Deutsche Telekom shareholders, they're like, yo, you guys can't just be coming in here and getting benefits to these stocks, and ours are going to be lesser valued than yours. You're going from here to here in this merger for no reason. You're just going from here to here. You haven't done anything. It's been a failure at Sprint, and now you're just going to come up because you're now on our side. So they're probably trying to shave about $7 or $8 billion. I cannot advise this if I'm anybody that's advising Deutsche Telekom, and here's why. It's been hell trying to get to this point. It's been 2 years of courts and ignoramus state attorney generals and American politics, and they have survived it and gone unscathed. Even though it's taken time, there really hasn't been any pressure. I've watched the whole thing. I documented the whole thing. I followed every day in the trial. We saw it all, right? It's been hard in terms of time, but they really can't chance it. Bro, here's what I learned. You buy a house, you don't nickel and dime it. If it's listed at 169,000, if it's listed at let's make it more so it's more valuable. The house is listed at 299,000. Right? You don't come in at 298,000 if you really want it. A difference of 1,000 could make or break that deal.
Yeah.
You're going to piss off the owner, right?
Yeah.
Bro, $1,000 over 30 years of payments is pennies on the dollar. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing. It's infinitesimal. It's going to be the smallest monetary difference because each year has 12 payments. You're doing it over 30 years. Who cares if it's $1,000 more?
Yeah.
It's pennies on the dollar if you think about it. So if I was Deutsche Telekom, stop playing games. The deal is done. You made it. You got 20, you know, like Sprint's bringing something awesome to the table. 50 million subscribers, 2.5 to get you going into 5G. They just spent $12 billion in their network, which means it got better, which you are going to integrate, right? Yeah, they're bringing their debt, but what company doesn't have operational debt? We're just going to say that, right? I think at this point, Deutsche Telekom needs to just relax. Whoever's advising them needs to say, chill. And Masa's son has been taking L's. He's done taking L's. He's not into that. So I would advise them to just relax. Let's let this deal close out. California Public Utilities Commission is the next final step in terms of approvals. And the last one, they'll approve. Because if they don't, they have to go to court and fight it. That costs money. Attorneys are expensive. T-Mobile just spent like $400 million to fight this merger block. So, and that was cash flow that was taken away from the company. Shareholders are pissed. So they don't want California's like, bro, we already got problems, right? We got the Firefighters were getting throttled. Our
Mhm.
infrastructure was burning up. We were shutting out people from electricity. They're done, bro. They were going to settle quick. Right? So that's what that is.
To be honest with you, I actually, you know, when I first heard that they're trying to renegotiate the terms and all of this, I was like, wait, what? You know, that reminds me of somebody that's trying to like kind of got greedy and like I'm making a business deal with him, and after it's all done and finished, he trying to like go from behind and do some fishy stuff. So that's what I initially thought. But you did mention something that I can't understand where they're coming from now, because you're right. Their stocks hit. Sprint stocks really got hurt, and they have a point, but at the same time, now when I hear from you, they're trying to take off almost $8 billion.
I'm hearing they're trying to get it down to like 16, 17 billion from the original 26.
Half.
That's
That's what I'm hearing. Half. They want to. That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing a lot of rumors about half.
I don't know about that, man. Well, here's the thing. In court, that's what people do. Like they start high and then they just try to get whatever they can. So probably that's why they're doing that. But maybe there's something that we don't know. Maybe they understand that, like you said, they know Sprint its image has been tarnished, and they understand that like they need, at this point, it seems like Sprint needs T-Mobile way more than T-Mobile needs Sprint.
Yeah, but I have to advocate for Sprint in this.
Yeah.
I have to, because their image is gone in this.
Yeah.
It's going to be Magenta new T-Mobile, so their image is not being taken on.
Mm-hmm.
It's customers, market share, and it's spectrum assets and debt. So,
So, yeah, that's the thing. But what they're saying, what I meant with that is like T-Mobile or Dish Telecom is saying, okay, well, Sprint, without us coming in to rescue it, it's going to have a hard time kind of picking up. It's just going to have to maybe go to a different carrier or, find a deal with somebody else or something like that, right? Just to kind of survive. And what they're saying is like, you're not going to get as good deal as much as we're giving you.
Truth be told, that's 100% true. That the T-Mobile merger is the best option for Sprint.
Yeah.
27% ownership, operational revenue, generating money, and their synergies go into an amazing company, right? As a network provider. If they went in with Comcast, they become it's like Sprint 2.0. It's not, there's no pre-existing positive momentum. So it's not the same. They're still Sprint. It's not the same. There is no better option than the T-Mobile piece for Masasun, for SoftBank, and for Sprint.
And Deutsche Telekom, they realize that. And
and think about what T-Mobile is going to be. What if they don't get this merger? They're going to have to go with the Sharks in the C-band spectrum auction up and coming later this year. Bro, you really want to go up against AT&T and Verizon in an auction? Do you know what that could do to you?
And Verizon right now, Verizon has unlimited funds. They got the clear to spend whatever you got to spend to grab that. And they want a big chunk of it too.
I think they understand that, but it's negotiation tactics, right? And that's all it is. And they just
I don't like being bullied, bro.
but bro, JG, you got to think about this though, man. Like, Sprint knows that right now. Like, let's say they said, screw everybody. We're just going to put this in the auction. We're going to make an auction. They know they can get $60-70 billion for that, for just Band 41. They know they can get it easily. And you know what I'm saying is true. They can get it easily.
Well, for the long run, I think the shareholders will, go the other route. They would rather, I think, go with T-Mobile, so that way they can maybe milk it as much as possible and keep on going. I just feel like they know that the shareholders are putting pressure on Sprint, and they want this to go through as well, because you've seen how it dipped, and then as soon as the merger was like, good to go, it's crazy. It's skyrocketed. What's crazy? I was looking back, I think 10 years, or I think about 10, or I got to check back, but it was at $70 a stock. Yeah, $70 or $80 a stock. So
that's T-Mobile's current stock. It's like 87.
Yeah, no, now to $5. Damn, that's
No,
crazy.
it was well below 5. I don't know if it dipped below 4. I don't.
That's crazy. And what is it at now? Like $8?
At least.
Like
Yeah.
eight.
At least it went up 70-80% upon the leak of the merger decision.
Yes.
Just the leak. So
the
the next day, because it was after close, right, Carlos?
Exactly.
It was after market close.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was after market close.
Ray's Mobile Carrier News with the $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. I hope your sweetie got you something nice or will give you something nice. I don't know. I do sound better because, like, I think whatever was all up in here has now gone away. So I can breathe. It's kind of cool, bro. I forgot what it was like to breathe. So thank you for your concerns. Friend of the show, Ray's Mobile Carrier News. Also, Alexis, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Awesome. Alexis, huge supporter of the channel, also a patron member. So thank you so much for supporting the SMT YouTube channel. Thank you, Alexis. All right. I think we covered it pretty good. Let's go ahead. Do you want to say something, Carlos?
No, but I was just saying, and when it comes down to the end, bro, like, you know how it is, man. It takes, like you said, it takes money to make money. You know, you got to spend money to make it. These guys just need to just suck it up, man, and just pay it, bro. Because at the end, it's a win. No matter what, you're winning customers, so that's for sure. You know, you got money coming in every month from monthly bills, and on top of it, you know, you got all this beautiful spectrum you can just throw out there. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to spend some money to put it out there, but at the end of the day, you're gonna be making billions off of it. Why would you sit here and try to and risk losing it?
Yeah, you're right, Carlos. Look, at the end of the day, if you're asking me where my concern is on the merger, I'm saying on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not concerned, 10 being like red alert, panic mode, I'm at a 1. This deal is going to get done. There's just no way. It's come too far. There's been too many things.
Well, it's on. You know that if I read a lot of Wall Street and Bloomberg report, and they've already said, Massa already said he ain't gonna take half.
Yeah. There's no reason for him to. I think Deutsche Telekom is operating in bad faith by trying to renegotiate the deal. I don't like that technique. I said 2 months ago, check the receipts. Everybody always says, well, you know. Now you're saying this, Sneed. I've been saying this for months, bro. My stories that from 2 years, JG. I've been saying the same things for 2 years, bro. The receipts are there. My videos, my live streams. People acting like I'm coming out of the woodworks with this, bro. The receipts are there. No. Go back and watch the videos. I am not.
You've been saying it,
bro.
You have been saying it, bro. I follow. I've been following you for a long time.
Oh my god, bro. I'm not a network prophet. I'm a man of common sense, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. I see, and to what you mentioned, because I want to just real quick say what Marek is saying. Like, you hear what Sneed is saying. We're not here to Deutsche Telekom. He just straight up said, you know, what they're doing is not right. You know, it's and you're saying that you make it seem, Marek, that we're trying to defend them for what they're doing. No, not at all. At the end of the day, let's be realistic here, right? At the end of the day, business is business. Okay, they're trying to make money. We're not gonna be staying here and say, "Oh, we'll defend this guy or that guy." What they're trying to do is wrong. But business is business. What they're trying to do is make a profit because they've seen that the value of the stock of what it was during the deal negotiated is much different, and there might be some other concerns as well, and they want to take advantage of that. Is that right? We don't think so. Is it right from the shareholders' perspective? Yeah, why not? You know, try to get a better deal. Who wouldn't? I mean, imagine if you were on the table and you were negotiating with somebody else, you would try to play all your cards as well. It's just common sense. But in terms of like me or Sneed or anybody else trying to defend him, absolutely not. We're here just to kind of like portraying on what's going on. And at the end of the day, we want this to go through. Me as a consumer, as somebody, I just feel like there's a lot of benefit for both, for Sprint, for the consumer, for T-Mobile, and it should go through. I mean, it's really ridiculous for it not to go through at this point.
Lawrence, that is 100% true. There is no breakup fee because the deal actually expired in November. In terms of the deal and all of that. So there is no breakup fee. The deal has already expired just because of everything getting pushed back in trials. 2 years, you will see the deal leverage into transmission bandwidth that is currently not even in our dreams. 100% true, because what Sprint's bringing to the table is this spectrum that I think was going to take too long to be deployed and would have ended up being halted because of the financial situation of Sprint. Eventually, they wouldn't have been able to sustain it. They couldn't keep selling junk bonds. They couldn't keep accruing more debt. It just, they couldn't even pay on their debt, let alone generate revenue for investment. I think we actually have to do some updated projections for 2020 for networks. All right, let's start first. Carlos, do you want to jump in on AT&T? All right, let's look at AT&T's position now that the merger is pretty much assumed in terms of moving forward. 2020, 2021, how's AT&T's outlook?
Actually, it's looking great, bro.
I mean, what has changed for them from this merger now that T-Mobile and Sprint combine?
It's actually making them hustle. It's actually making them push out to get the spectrum out, to get all the integrations upgraded, put band 14 up. They're trying to do standalone. They have a projection to have at least standalone 5G started by 2021 January. You know, like now it's pushed them to that limit. You like here in Nevada, bro. They hired Hector Telecom, and they're pushing out towers and extending them up higher, stacking them with band 30 NR5. In the Midwest, their sister company ended up getting contracts too for the whole Midwest, and they're blowing it up, bro. Like they're gonna try to fill in those coverage gaps.
JG,
and that's.
Oh, sorry, Carlos. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm just saying that, and that's the important part. That's all I was gonna say. That's
okay.
It.
Okay.
All right, JG.
Honestly, this is very exciting, and I want to compare it to something. Just to give you guys kind of an overall, picture here. There's a company that I usually use for coding. It's called React Native, and there's another company that just came out recently. I don't know if anybody's a coder here, but for devs, something Google came out with called Flutter. And as soon as they came out with it, React Native was kind of like really slow and kind of fixing its problems, and it was just because there was not much of a competition to it or a threat. And as soon as Flutter has been experiencing a lot of influx of people going into it, and it's becoming competition, React Native has changed tremendously, and it's just becoming so much better. And so I mentioned that is because exactly how I think is going to happen with AT&T and Verizon. Now that there is, and that's why I'm saying this is very exciting. I really don't understand why people would hate on this merger. Literally, this is really good news because now you're going to have Sprint and T-Mobile combining, and then the effort to push AT&T to better its promotions, to better its services, and all of these things. And like Carlos just mentioned, they're now it's hustle time. They're going to just push them to what they would have probably done, but to kind of increase the speed of that, bring on more people, and there's just pressure on them to do better. And there's something else they've done I have never seen them do before. I'm going to mention that once we go on to JG Tech Blog. Cricket actually just did something this past week I've not seen them ever do, so I'll mention that in the video.
Oh, I know. Okay. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, bro. I'll keep it. Don't worry, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right,
it's
so
crazy stuff.
In terms of the outlook of AT&T and if it changes with the merger, I think just the pressure of a stronger company nipping at the heels is good. I think AT&T actually has to figure out something in its division of its company because the media side is it's like bleeding out, bro. Like, I just don't understand. Their streaming services are expensive. Their TV offers are not attractive when it comes to promotional pricing. Everything's been price increases for several years, like 2 to 3 years. The only thing I've reported from AT&T TV and media from the whole time I've had my channel has been price increase, hikes, customers getting hit with fees and surcharges. So that's a problem that needs to be addressed and it needs to be probably separated. But from the network side for mobility, the network has gotten a lot better. The capacity is impressive. No company has the network portfolio of LTE bands that AT&T has. Nobody has it. Bro, imagine I come to you with ideas, 10 ideas, and I say they're all available to you, right? Verizon's got 5 ideas. They're really good ideas, but they're 5. T-Mobile's got a few ideas. You know, like you get what the portfolio, the diversity of spectrum is really, really expansive. They've got band 30, band 29. They've got 17, 12. It's kind of one. They've got band 5. They've got 2. And then they've got Band 14, which is new, and it's a government contract. They're getting paid to roll it out in a way. They're getting kickbacks and tax breaks on it. There's so much. So it's like they have really the raw materials to win. But here's where things get interesting. So we transition over to Verizon's outlook. They just systematically continue to strengthen their network. So they always operate from a position of strength. Their network, in terms of LTE pops, in terms of their tower sites, regional carrier acquisitions, bro, it's the best nationwide. I can blindly advise anybody who drives the country or, travels for business. I can blindly recommend Verizon. How many companies can you do that for? Like, just get Verizon. You could literally say that to somebody who goes into multiple states for work or even travels a large state, because there's no worries. 99% of the time, it's going to be the best network wherever you're going. You know what I'm saying? There are some markets that are a little bit congested. Here comes Verizon spending $18 billion in 2020. So they're going to address that. They're going to densify the network, more sites, more small cells. They know what they're doing. I don't care about their millimeter wave approach. That really doesn't matter. They're going to be big on C-band in 2020. Expect the rollouts in 2021. They're like, they're playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I do see AT&T like that a little bit too. Verizon, this probably makes them a little bit more fiery in competing against a new T-Mobile, because T-Mobile's 2.5 is such a sweet deal for them to be getting this. But I'm telling you right now, as we transition towards the new T-Mobile, T-Mobile cannot keep spending $6 billion a year. That's ridiculous, bro. You cannot spend $6 billion on a U.S. national wireless network. That's unacceptable in 2020. That is a joke. Why are they nickel and diming their customers? Kick it up a notch. Whatever it takes, figure it out. Like John, he's leaving. Mike Sievert's got to do this, bro. You cannot spend $6 billion, bro. If they don't spend $20 billion a year for the next 5 years, they will again be 2 or 3 years behind Verizon and AT&T. Bro, name one carrier who's rolling out low band to cover the nation. There's only one. T-Mobile. Verizon has matured. There's no low band left to roll out. AT&T has matured. They bought more low band. Band 14, right? They got this. Bro, no other carrier is still catching up in LTE. So we have to move beyond low band. We've got to start thinking, big spending. They can't do $6 billion a year. Now you got Sprint's money. Now you've got Sprint's investment into the network. $15 billion is bare minimum for the new T-Mobile annually for the next decade. Bare minimum. In fact, it's got to be closer to 20 if you're going to catch up, because AT&T's 20, Verizon is pushing 20. You can't play games.
I want to say something. This goes back to that Twitter post that I seen from John Lager. Was he laughing about Verizon focusing on its LTE? Is this what you're mentioning about? Because they're focusing now their money on basically increasing their LTE reach.
Truth be told, it is still advisable to invest into LTE in 2020.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is 100% advisable to still address LTE in 2020. I don't know. Should I say it again for the third time?
I think that people that think that 5G is going to come within the next year or by 2021, I think you're really over. What do they call that? Like,
it's definitely a reach. It's a reach.
Yeah, but it's very, very complicated. And people, I think a lot of people were saying 2020 was the year. Actually, I heard even by the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. But now we're already, starting. It doesn't seem like it needs a lot of work. And I feel like LTE Verizon is playing it really safe, and they're focusing on what they're doing best and for their consumers, because they understand that the 5G is going to take a while. And in the meantime, we need to make sure that our customers are happy with what they have. And so they're working on that. And so I honestly feel like Verizon is doing a good job in what it's trying to do. And yeah.
Carlos. Go ahead. If you're not done, JG, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, basically, bro, like they gotta spend. That's the thing. Like T-Mobile's gonna have to spend more than 6. If they don't spend more than 6, bro, it ain't gonna happen. When you got when you got big players here, freaking spending, 18 billion, 25 billion AT&T. You got Sprint, even Sprint, bro, spending 12, 13 bills. Like, come on, man. They're broke.
Bro,
How's that
remember
happening?
You remember what happened earlier this morning with those tweets that I sent to that T-Mobile representative, Carlos?
Yeah.
So I tweet out Ricky Florida Keys, RFK Tech, big shout out to him. He tweets out how he's getting 3 megabits per second, and it's unacceptable. National average for download speed is like 30 to 40 megabits per second. So him getting 3 is atrocious. And I can't blame him for being aggravated because he's going to have trouble with 720p video. And he's got a Note 9, so he probably wants to do Quad HD or 1080p, and he can't. But besides that, so he posts this problem, and I reply to his tweet, I can't get 2 megabits per second at home on T-Mobile. You get what I'm saying? Band 12 is a nightmare. I get a tweet from some random technician customer support guy on Twitter. Yeah, T-Mobile, we want to help with all all this nonsense. Bro, listen, stay in your lane. Sneed Mobile Tech's blast radius is vicious. So you don't want to go there with me because I'm not average consumer. We talking network technologies here. You get what I'm saying? Like we're above your pay grade. We are, because our problems go beyond that. We're infrastructure, right? We're talking about network spending, bruh. Don't come here. I will take you into deep waters, bro. Like you don't want to do that with me. Carlos is the same way. I don't like that, bro. So I told him, no disrespect, bro. Stay in your lane. We're talking big money talk, bro. You guys remember Johnny Manziel with the money phone? 18 billion is big money talk. That's Verizon. 18 billion. 20 billion is big money talk. That's AT&T money. Even Sprint kicking it up to 12 billion. That's big money talk for them. We're still clowning around with 6 billion, bro. That stuff's got to stop.
Yeah.
Like, I remember people were saying that T-Mobile got exposed at Super Bowl. Oh, no. That is not exposure. If they spend 6 billion in 2021, like they're going to spend this year in 2020, they will be absolutely exposed. You cannot spend 6, but they got to come in double, triple. You get what I'm saying? At least they will be exposed because they will not catch up to Verizon. Verizon's going to spend money on C-band. AT&T is going to spend money on C-band. T-Mobile probably won't need much, if any, C-band because of the mergers, acquisitions, right?
Yeah, they won't need it.
They can focus on integration and build out of that 2.5 from Sprint, the band 41. But they will not be operating with 6 billion. No. Child's play, bro. Seriously.
I want to mention to the comment that you highlighted from Ronald after 2022 in terms of 5G, kind of spreading out nationwide. Here's the thing that even Verizon, when it's kind of focusing on its LTE and bettering it and stuff like that, and we might think, okay, 2021 or 2022, at the end of the day, regardless of when it starts rolling out, we know from experience and seeing it from previously with 4G when it rolled out and 3G, people or the consumers in general, it will take them a couple years until they finally kind of catch up to the 5G. You're talking about a phone, and I've seen your tweets about this, and I totally agree. Why is the 5G S20 coming out for about $1,000 and then the S20 Ultra for over $1,300, $1,400 because of that 5G hardware that they put in there. So I can tell you straight off the bat, nobody is going to be, even the OnePlus you mentioned when it comes out is one of the kind of budget phones that's kind of competing at a lower price.
It's going to be $899.
Yeah.
It's going to be $849. I don't know what T-Mobile will price it or whatever. It's
what, the OnePlus?
The next OnePlus, because it's going to have a Snapdragon 865. It will be over $800, 100%.
And so what that tells you, the average person is not going to be able to afford that. Yeah, just straight up. And nobody has that.
Especially with their. It's not even that. It's just their device policy financing. It's horrid, bro. How can you go to T-Mobile? Okay, perfect example. How can you go to AT&T? You got that $1,980 Galaxy tablet Fold. How can you get that at zero down with either split in 36-month payments or 46 a month, or you do it in 24 for what is it, like $60 something? How can they actually do that, but T-Mobile can't? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense.
So
their deposits are way too huge.
Yeah. So regular, consumers will not be able to afford this until the price goes down in terms of manufacturing the hardware, and it just gets much better. So we're talking about 5G. Give it another 4 years until it kind of you see it with everybody or the majority of people. Dude, until today, you might still find people using 3G. So think about it.
I did a video on this probably about 2 months ago. 3G is still a thing in the U.S.
Yeah.
HSPA plus, HSPA. What are you going to do, bro? It's kind of the way things are. There's still some really, I don't know what I want to call these, extended areas throughout the U.S. which do not have anything other than low band frequencies available to them, which speeds are, they operate at a frequency and a low amount of megahertz of spectrum. You can't get high speeds. So 2 to 3 megabits per second are very common in extended areas. Carlos, you've seen searching mode on your phones when you travel, and you've seen, CDMA connections or GSM connections. You're not getting LT,
It's true. Very true.
Let's shift. Let's quickly talk S20, and then we'll wrap things up. Okay, S20 impressions. I know what I want to say, but you guys are technically my guests. So I'll start with, I think I started with Carlos first last time. Let me start with JG.
Yeah.
The S20, bro, you got some coverage. I love the video you just did, comparing flagship to flagship, what Apple brings to the table, what the S20 brings to the table. Go ahead, take away what you got to say.
I don't want to get some hate from the comments. So how do you, should I just overall or what?
Say how it is, bro.
I mean, you got the
yeah.
JG, you have a voice on my channel. Go.
I got you. I'm telling you, the thing about it is that I know a lot of people just Apple fans in general and stuff like that. But I'm gonna just say, so the S20 Ultra and just the S20 in general, I just feel like, and I spoke about this in the previous time I was on your channel. They've got to the point where is it necessary? Not really. Like, I understand that they might, when we spoke about it last time, if they kind of advance the bands in terms of you getting better Wi-Fi reception or the LTE reception, et cetera, et cetera. But do we have 5G? Is it accessible by everybody? No, I don't even think they have the bands for I think the S20 Ultra is the one that got the millimeter wave, correct? And then the other ones didn't. So
I think the Plus also.
Yeah. So is it worth the upgrade? I don't really think so. If you're asking me, if you have the previous model and you want to upgrade, it's not really worth it. Just stick with what you have until 5G is really out in general. But the S20 Ultra, if you are a photographer, if you are going to use that 100x zoom, I don't know if you guys seen that, but it's just insane. Like, who,
right.
I don't know what you're going to be doing with that kind of technology. To MKBHD, he tweeted about this. He said, I guarantee you guys, people are going to be using it once, and that's it. Just use it once, probably when they get the phone, and because it's not useful in everyday to life. And that's why I think, like I spoke in your previous stream, they should be focusing on other stuff than these just gimmicks. It has a great camera, but at the end of the day, megapixels doesn't really mean everything, because it does have 100 megapixels. That's insane. And the specs they put in there are just unheard of. Like, if you look at the spec sheet on paper, comparing it onto a device, it's crazy. I've never seen it going, but is it necessary? That's the question people have to ask.
Yeah. Go ahead, Los.
Especially with today, how I got my hands on an S20 Plus, bro, like, it feels amazing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But do we really need 100 megapixel shooters? No. I don't know why they still in 2020 are concentrating to try to push people in the camera department, like that's their big selling point for the phone, when there should be other points to it, like graphene battery, like stuff like that would be better for the phone instead of having 100 megapixel camera. Because then at least you know that your phone's gonna last longer on a charge, and when you need to charge it, it's gonna be on the snap. And honestly, man, the phone, they actually did a pretty good job on it, bro. I mean, yes, the price is expensive, but after being hands-on with it, especially how the edges are not like really curved like how the S10 Note 10s are, it's actually more flush. And that, honestly, that's like a big plus for me, because then you know that the screen ain't just gonna bust on you on a single little drop. It's gonna crack because of that edge. So they did a good redesign, but at the same time, the price is too steep, and they should have put LTE variants out there so it could be a little bit more affordable.
So that's actually what I want to address. Don't let me forget. Go ahead, JG.
No, I just real quickly, think about it. Like, they have to. I mean, I love the design. I loved everything about it, but it was like, duh. I mean, you talk about over $1,000. Like, if they want to sell that thing, they're really going to put their best of the best onto it. And it's a really good phone. Don't get me wrong. But it's like you mentioned, you look at that price and that's just a turn off. So
hold on, pause. Why are there only 15 likes in here? Hit the like button now. Okay, now that we got that out of the way.
But bro, like when I tested out the camera in the S20 Plus today, and that one's not the one that has the 100 megapixel like the Ultra, it was just as good, bro.
Yeah.
If not, it was just great. And that's not 100 megapixel. Like, I was able to zoom in like perfectly, and it was clear. It's actually pretty clear. I won't deny it, man. So I would think even the regular S20 should be just as good.
All right, I gotta go in a little bit here. So here's the situation. If you look at the pricing of these new phones, S20 coming in at $999, S20 Plus coming in at $1099. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. $1149 maybe. I don't. Something like that. Okay. Ultra coming in at $1399. Yes. If you look at just the single edition of a 5G compatible device from 2019, these phones are essentially the same cost as they were last year. The additional $200 and $300 price bump is strictly because of Qualcomm. Qualcomm has kind of screwed the consumer. They have forced 5G onto the flagship chipset for 2020. The 865, there is no option to remove 5G from it. It is built into the integration of and the architecture of the chipset. There is no LTE only variation. If I'm telling you guys, if you remember the S10 Lite and the S10 Lite Note, they have to do that again, bro. And they have to put an 855 that's LTE only.
Yeah.
And they're going to charge less too, because it's a year-old chipset. Bro, there is no option. If you're putting an 865, it's 5G only. So the phone itself last year, the S10, was priced similarly to what it is this year if you were to take away the 5G compatibility. By having modems that are 5G compatible, it has raised pricing $200 to $300. So actually, Samsung profit margins are the same. Mm-hmm. Samsung hasn't really changed pricing. Qualcomm has altered the pricing of the market for this phone. And in the North American model and what's coming to America, we have no choice. Exynos is doing the same thing, from what I understand. If you want a phone that is LTE only as an upgrade, you can't buy a flagship. Bro, LG is going to drop a phone this year with an 865. Same thing. 5G only. It's going to be $1,000 plus. Motorola, if it does a flagship, $1,000 plus. Yeah. Apple, if it does a 5G phone, $1,000 plus. You have no options. They've left. Qualcomm has screwed the consumer by $200 to $300 by doing this, because they're rushing out 5G manufactured hardware when the networks don't really enforce that it needs to be available.
Qualcomm wants to be the first.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys know this, for those that are looking for a kind of like the budget realm, something a little bit cheaper, they should look at like you mentioned, the Note 10 Lite, and that's why they came out with them, the Note 10 Lite and the S10 Lite, because they knew that they've just created this for a whole different level of people, and so anybody that wants a little bit cheaper, S10 Lite, No, and also they decreased the S10e to $599. The S10 is $750 now, and the S10 Plus is $850. So there's that.
Wow.
Ronald is saying the S20 is 7,800 in the UK with LT only model. Lucky them.
Mm-hmm.
Consumers rejoice.
They're lucky.
Phones are getting expensive. And I did a video, the same video where I was talking about 3G, how it's like still a thing, was the same video I talked about $1,000 smartphones. Bro, I'm telling you, I'm not claiming to be a prophet. I just see the trend. $1,000 smartphones. You know, they're telling you this is what the new trend is. Get used to it. Pete mentioned earlier, I saw in the live chat, he spoke of the mid-range 5G phone. That needs to happen sooner rather than later. In fact, we'll get
TCL.
We'll get some of that this year, but I think a big mid-range year is going to be 2021. C-band will start to be getting rolled out. We'll see band 43 really starting to take off. 2021 will be a really good year for mid-range, and it'll be a good year for flagship too. Pricing will continue to drop, but literally, OnePlus isn't safe from a price increase. What does that tell you? OnePlus ain't safe, bruh. So even if they add wireless charging, even if they add, you know, they got this 5G piece, they're pushing 900 to 1,000. Whatever you got from the McLaren is going to be the same pricing for the OnePlus 8.
McLaren, man.
All right. You guys want to do anything with foldables real quick?
Ooh, yeah. I mean,
I just want to say that it looks. What is that? The foldable? No. Wow. Look at you, man.
And another thing that I actually figured out, it has two IMEIs. So it has an eSIM embedded in it, but it's from what I'm hearing, it's software disabled, firmware disabled.
Single SIM?
Yeah, it's single SIM and eSIM.
That might be the way all of them
disabled.
are, Carlos. If it's got a SIM card tray and eSIM, they all kind of may be like that, unless it's advertised as dual SIM.
So
okay, good to know.
So we gotta do. We gotta do a little unboxing on this bad boy.
Definitely.
All right, so you got two options for foldables as of right now. You've got the Razini, aka Carlos's Razini, which is the Motorola Razr upgrade from 2005.
Razini.
Got the Razini. I like the Razini. I like the hinge. Well, not the hinge. I guess the pivoting point for the phone to fold. I think the engineering is pretty nice on that. The specs are
solid,
mid-range. The specs are mid-range-ish, right, Carlos?
Yeah, the specs are mid-range, but the hinge is solid, bro. Like you've been hearing me, bro. I've been doing it with you on the phone, whatever, bro. I just be slapping it out of nowhere just for no reason.
Bro, listen, Carlos is the type of dude. He'll have a friend that's like really muscly and strong, and he'll just punch him to punch him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're big, you could take it. That's how he's treating this phone. Like, nice hinge, so I'm gonna just be slamming it all the time.
I gotta slap it around, you know, and test it, bro. I mean, they said it. I mean, the screen handles it just fine, because, dude, I'm slapping it. I know you heard that.
Carlos, stop, please.
I know.
Stop, please.
Like, damn.
But look, but it's fine.
I know it's fine, but you know, it hurts.
They did a good design. It's a good design hint.
What's up, Tech Lava Mama? Good to have you.
You know, it's funny. It's even when I'm if I go swimming and I know my phone, if like, even though I'm using a friend's or anything like that, and I know it's like waterproof, and I still wouldn't go into the. I just can't. And so even if I think I had that razor, I would just be like slowly.
Yeah.
1,500? How much is the razor? Yeah.
15 with tax. It was like 16 and change.
It priced a lot of people out. It's it's first generation. It really did price a lot of people out, and it's a Verizon exclusive, so it also kind of took people out of that part. Availability.
November, December, they're going to be coming out with the 5G variant of it. That's what they're talking about.
And that'll probably be available at other carriers too.
Yeah. I think
hopefully.
Well, you remember how the Z Droid Z Force and all that?
Yeah.
The first one was out for Verizon, and then the second one they put it out for the general market for all carriers.
Yeah.
they saw, it's like Verizon's like their guinea pig, and they test it out, make sure it's good, blah, 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 and then they put it out to the general carriers, the rest of them.
The Samsung Z Flip is the other option for foldable. I think that one's got some nice functionalities as well. It's also priced at $1,380, so it's $1,400. It's their second iteration of a foldable phone, going back to the Samsung Fold.
Yeah.
So it is different. It's technically a different design. It's a different design language. So it's folding up and down like the Razor, as opposed to folding side to side like a book, like we saw with the Fold. So it is a little bit different. Also, the screen technology is different too. So it's still glass from what I understand. I don't know. It might not be as durable as what Motorola is doing. I think from a foldable design standpoint, Motorola's is probably better. But from a full functionality and flagship level, I think the Samsung's a better option. I couldn't recommend both in good faith. But if somebody has expendable income and really just wants something different and cool, then they're going to go ahead and buy this phone, and that's fine. It's just, are you rushing out to go get it if you're just the average consumer? If you're not impressed by them, I totally understand. If you're not an early adopter, cutting edge, bleeding edge type of guy or gal, yeah, it's not for everybody. But I don't like people poo-pooing these phones. Like, the problem with people poo-pooing these phones, they're basically saying, Samsung, Motorola, please stop innovating. We don't want anything new. Just keep giving us the same thing. And I don't like that, bro, because we pay for innovations, right? We pay for new. We want to see things change because we've been talking about how everybody's bored. Well, here's something new, and there's a lot of people poo-pooing. Well, maybe you need to get lost and go back to 2018 and just buy some old phones then, because they're trying to do something different. They have to innovate. You can't keep selling the same thing. People have been complaining about stagnation.
Yeah,
exactly.
I actually agree with you, and I must say I actually was one of them that was thinking that the Fold in general, or when I first seen them in CES about a year ago, and I was like, who's really gonna use this? And I guess I was wrong. I didn't think a lot of people were gonna pick up, but now when I see this stuff, I'm like, wow, this stuff is nice. What's that? A BlackBerry, right?
That's a BlackBerry. Why do you think I bought this?
The buttons?
The buttons.
Yeah.
Because that is a new feature in my life. that really I like.
Yeah.
Okay,
dude,
now
the keyboard is nice, bro.
Yeah.
It's a feature, bro. It's a feature that I want because I don't know, man.
That's funny. My friend, I was with my friend today, and he had the iPhone XS, and you know how the iPhone XS doesn't have that button at the bottom, and I have the 6S and it has the button. He's like, man, I missed that. I was like, oh really? Well, how about this? And I show him the
headphone jack.
You remember that? It's like, oh, I totally forgot about that.
Oh,
and so it's funny now. Like phones that have that or the button are actually something that people want to go back to. It's crazy.
Big shout out to Rafi, who just sent a PayPal donation. Thank you, Rafi. This one goes out to Yasmin. Yeah, they know what time it is. The thing about the PayPal donations, and this is what's funny. So when they get donated here on the channel, I take them and match them because Google takes their piece, right? When they do the super chats. And the more people donate, the more I got to take out of the sock drawer and go get cash and put into Yasmin's piggy bank. So Carlos be hurting me sometimes because I got to wait for this money to clear from Google. Meanwhile, I got to put cash in the piggy bank. So I do appreciate that, Rafi. Thank you, man. Much appreciated there. I think that was the only one, but thank you. Hopefully I got everybody's super chat today. Thank you guys for the donations. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with smartphone designs. We'll see what goes on. You know, as of right now, I think the best thing Samsung is offering is probably the Ultra because of the battery size, because of the camera tech. Again, it probably priced some people out. If you're buying from T-Mobile, it hurts. If you're buying from another carrier, it's easier to manage. Probably no down payment. If you have good credit, they'll let you finance the entire thing. It puts you at about $60 a month just for the device. But, you know, at that point, it may not be a thing. Somebody who's considering a expensive device like that is probably not pinching pennies once it gets to $60, you know, in payments.
Yeah, bro.
All right, so we're on. It's been like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with what we accomplished today. So, Carlos, thanks for coming by, man. We appreciate you always being here. I don't mind being alone on my podcast. You guys know I could carry it, bro. But I really just enjoy the conversation and the discourse. You guys are two of my favorite people when it comes to this type of conversation. So I'm glad to have you. And it would have been nice to have Pete on here and Ricky. I'd put everybody in here if I could. But it was awesome having you guys. JG, thanks for being on.
Yeah, good to be here.
If you guys want to kind of shout out your channels, let everybody know what's going on with what you guys are up to, I'll give you guys the floor. So JG, go ahead and tell everybody, first of all, like for those that have never seen you before and know about your channel, tell them what your channel's name is, what you do, what you got moving forward in the future.
Okay, so JG Tech Blog here. Majority of my content actually was focusing on Metro by T-Mobile or prepaid carriers. I kind of got into Cricket, Boost Mobile, and other things. But for the future, I am hoping to kind of get into other gadgets like the S20, the S20 Ultra, and just kind of comparing those and to the mid-range and the budget phones. I try to look at the market and see what is very kind of like consumer-friendly, budget-friendly, whether that's through plans or through devices. So if you want to hear more about that and you kind of make a better decision when you're going out and you kind of like hard on cash or on a budget, definitely check out my channel, JG Tech Blog, and we'll have it linked down below. And if you guys have some time later on, I'm actually hopefully with Sneed and if Carlos, they can join me as well if they want. I'm going to go on and I'm going to be talking about how the merger is going to actually affect those prepaid carriers as well. Thank you.
All right, let's do Carlos. Carlos, go. Tell them what you're up to, bro.
Just basically my channel, like it says on the name tag, Carlos Says Tech. I'm just covering as much as I can about the networks. Just basically what Sneed does, cover the networks, but more in an intense phase, field testing a lot more. Try to find out tower news, whatever we're getting upgrades for towers the best we can, and then test out these devices. Like I picked up this Fold today, and we'll do a couple of unboxing videos and test out these phones and see what they're about. Like that's basically what I'm trying to do, is to get you guys, to get you guys the knowledge out there and stuff before you sit here and spend $1,400 on something that you're going to end up regretting, and then you're going to be stuck with for the next 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better that somebody else, be the guinea pig for you. So that's basically what I am, is a guinea pig for you guys.
Yeah, so that's what everybody's up to. And I don't know if I call these guys my community. These are my friends that happen to also be creators. So I don't know. People like to build these communities and cliques. I'm not into it, bro. I'll let anybody in. I'll let good people in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into that. JG, the conversations we've had about reaching out and extending into the community, some people will shut you out, bro. If you don't have a certain subscriber number, if they feel you are a threat to their success, if they're not into that, you know what I'm saying? I don't do that, bro. Like, I'm a school teacher. I teach kids to be inclusive. I teach people, these young kids to be considerate and thoughtful and respectful. I mean, in my adult life, I'm the same way. You know what I'm saying? So if there's any creators out there that want to shout out, that want to get involved with the community here on the SMT, which we don't really have a community per se. It's just, I try to just have good people that I connect with. So if that's the case, you want to come on, just reach out to me. We'll figure something out. Carlos, you're the same way. You're very acceptable to people. And JG, that's how we kind of connected in that way.
Absolutely.
All right. So we are off to JG's channel. We'll be moving over there. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to JG Tech Blog. Go ahead and hit that notification bell because we're about to go live on his side. The problem is I'm at the mercy of JG because that's his show. So I'm going to be like, hi, and then Carlos is always mild-mannered and very respectful. So you don't have to worry about him. Me, I'm not so cultured. I got to lay low. I got to, be cool. Tech Lover Mama, why don't you make it over there? Let's see if we can get you there at the next. We're going to be moving over there. So if you're not done with YouTube, if you guys are still into watching some more, we'll be moving over there. And is the focus going to be prepaid?
Yeah, I'm going to make it short for you guys. And I'm going to also really reveal something that it's, a secret I also mentioned in the stream here. I'm going to reveal it there. So come on with us. Shout out to Maverick for subscribing, and anybody else that wants to join us there. JG Tech Blog.
Starting route to K
Raphael, if you can put the link. And again, I'll make it short. So I know it's kind of late in because it's still 7 o'clock here in California, but I know in New York and if you guys are in other parts, it's fast. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm in your neck of the woods right now, JG. I'm in Cali right now.
We're at the same time. Yeah.
I'm in San Bernardino right now.
That's what's up, man. We got to meet up sometime.
Good people. Good people.
What part are you at right now?
We'll say it off the stream.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll cover. Okay, so JG, go ahead and do what you got to do. You can exit the stream now if you want and get set up, and that's all good. Carlos, you make it over with us?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet. All right.
I'll just be on the road, but
we'll get things set up. We'll get things going. We'll slide over there. And thank you to everybody who is here tonight. If you watch this on the live, thank you. Please like this video on your way out. Maybe you're new to the channel. Welcome to you. Subscribe, bell, notify yourself, activate that icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. Also, subscribe to my second channel, Steam Mobile Tech live streams, where these videos, these podcasts get archived, and you can watch them at any time later after they've been archived. I want to give a thank you to everybody who donated a super chat or a PayPal donation, a pair, whatever. Dancing pairs apparently are the thing to do now.
yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and big shout out to the replay crew. You guys, you're important. When you watch replays, it supports the channel as well. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you being here tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the service that we offer in terms of offering discourse and banter on important network information. We enjoy doing it, and I hope you guys are able to enjoy it as well. So that wraps it up. JG is out. Carlos, we out. We'll catch you guys over on the JG Tech Blog podcast. Peace.